What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hollywood Life with Nick
and Jazzy.
Today we're going to be reacting to one of the KATT WILLIAMS videos. It's about marriage. We figured, hey, we're trying to get married. All of this hype is around the KATT WILLIAMS thing on Club Shay Shay. I actually did see the whole thing. Jazz hasn't seen any of it, but they got this little clip and I was like, hey, we should react to the marriage portion of it. And
yeah, I've heard a lot of hype about this video. I'm not really sure what to expect, but like Nick said, since we're on this, road to being married, it's like, okay, now I'm a little intrigued on like, what does KATT WILLIAMS have to say? Because is he married? I don't know.
He's actually a single father with like 7 kids. But he adopted all of them. Oh,
interesting. So, see, It's like, personally, I don't believe that unmarried people should be giving any type of advice for married people. That just does not sit well with me. That don't sit well with my conscience. So, I'm very interested to see what Mr. KATT WILLIAMS has to say.
All right. Well, let's jump straight into it. You react with us, too. Let us know your thoughts on the whole KATT WILLIAMS things in the comments right now and on this particular clip.
See how you tried to ask me something about marriage? But then
I ain't say nothing about no marriage.
Yeah, you did. When you rewind the tape, you let it out. You was like, so you ever gonna get married? And then you took it back. It's okay. It's okay. I wasn't on the photographic memory.
Are you?
I'm not against it. Like, most people that are not married is because they're afraid of commitment. It's not that like that for me. It's just the whole time I wanted to be married, I had kids, so I had to try to fill my wife's place before she got there. So I'm already got kids without a mother, but so now I got to be doing laundry. I'm washing dishes. I'm reading stories. I'm having to nurture. I'm having to do all of this, and I got to the point where I didn't need the wife. I'm doing it, and we're doing it, and I'm not replacing a woman in their lives. I'm letting them see that that's just the only thing that we don't have. And
okay.
I actually agree with that. I do 100%.
I mean, I can understand the need now. Like, you don't need it because you're already doing it. But I don't think that But I don't think that cancels out the want. And I think people also forget about the desire. Like, there are other needs that physical person can actually fulfill. So you're just overcompensating for, like, your actions that you have to do for these kids.
So, I think I know quite a bit about KATT WILLIAMS. And I think, I agree that he doesn't need the wife aspect from a place of, like, a mother. Because, first of all, the kids that he has are, I believe they're all adopted. So he's basically saying I have to run my household just the same way a single mother would and take on the responsibilities of, to the best of her ability as a husband also. But he also does live with women. So the wife part is...
What do you mean live with women?
Yeah.
Who does he live with?
He has, like, women. He's known to have lived with a lot of women. Like, they live at the house. So.
Oh, well, he didn't mention that one.
Not yet. Probably.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep watching then because, okay, Mr. KATT.
But he don't have to get married to be able to do what he's doing. And I think that's more of the aspect with the kids. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
And it was easier for me to do that because you have to understand that all of the kids I'm raising at this point, they have fathers. You see? They have a mother. You see? I'm a different person. I'm raising you. And so that needs to be done with the other respect for the others that put work in as well. So, yeah. I never had a problem getting married.
You were married once.
Never.
You weren't married?
Never in life.
So would you have a cohabitation agreement?
Never. How? How can I be a single parent and be married?
There are people that like were married and then they get divorced and then they become single parents. That's how that works.
I don't think he's slick with that. Look how his face is.
Yeah, but a person who's never been married means he's never been married.
Okay. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Why would you need to take my word for it? Hold on. If I had been married, wouldn't somebody have said who she was?
No. It might have been a long time ago.
Nope. I've never not been famous, sir. I just worked the story out to you. I don't have no hidden mysteries in my life. That was Jesus. I don't have no periods in my life where it's unaccounted for. No. That person that said that was a liar. I got a case right now in LA. This lady saying she was my assistant for 14 years and I heard her or something like that. Never worked for me, not a day in my life. Liars lie because they want to. But people always say, why would they lie? No, there are several women have said they was married to me. It's just when it went to court, they had to say, I was married to him spiritually.
Okay, hold on. I think that's the thing though. Like anybody who's in the limelight, whether you're like super famous or let's say you're the neighborhood, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of times where you are now in an unsafe light, and it's not necessarily an unsafe light, but you're in this position and people are going to try to come at you or just blatantly lie and say you did something or whatever. So I can see that, and then the rumor just goes and goes and goes. Men lie, women lie, a kid might lie, or somebody might tell them to lie. Like that's pretty crazy, and it's very obvious that Shannon doesn't believe.
Right.
There's some kind of rumor. What do you think?
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of rumor that he doesn't believe. I mean, that's the catch-all, right? But I mean, like KATT Williams just said, like people are gonna lie, especially with somebody that is more famous, and they're gonna always try to get something out of that person. You know, like Bill Cosby, for example, or who's some other people.
There's quite a few cases where they're like, oh, they settled, but like, I mean, again, I don't know what Michael Jackson did, but if the man is dead, why are you coming back now?
Let me clear the air. Not to say that these men did not do anything, because I don't know. I've never really dug that deep into it. So let me clear that up first. But I think it's a prime example of like how people lie on famous people to try to reap some type of benefit or
you'll see one person say something, then all of a sudden 30 people are saying something.
Exactly. So that's a whole nother realm, y'all. Yeah. We are not trying to dive into that. Let me clear that up right now.
I mean, shoot, like I said, like Bob Marley, he got people coming out the woodwork. Oh, I'm his kid too.
Yeah.
Like
people people have different motives for whatever personal reasons they may have, and it could potentially either ruin somebody else's life or.
Yeah, the only victim to me at that point is probably like the celebrity, because you know. All right.
Well, let's see.
You shut up. How you gonna be married to me? My kids don't know you. Answer me that.
So do you have a problem? Do you have a problem bringing women around your kids?
No, not then or now. I've always lived with several women. Like I'm known for
several.
That. Yeah.
Like more than one?
I've already told you that I prefer the company of women to the company of men. So if I told you that me and a couple dudes on my staff sometimes have to cohabitate, nobody finds a problem with that. Yeah, so it's me and 3 ladies cohabitating because that's how the business gets done. Like, I don't want a chef that scratches his nuts before he cooks. I don't... no disrespect to these guys that go around with these large.
So he's basically saying like it's not about like maybe he hasn't gotten that far yet, but it doesn't seem like he's talking about the romantic side of being in a relationship. It's just he used the term business. This is how the business goes. This is how work gets done, and then he just said, he mentioned a chef. So it's like, okay, you have one there living with you that's cooking, one that's probably taking the kids to school, one that's probably doing the laundry or cleaning the house. So I'm
or assisting
guessing,
at that time.
Yeah, or just assisting for whatever
But
reason.
he's also probably, again, it's some kind of exchange where they probably have somewhere to live.
Right.
Somebody has, whatever the case is. But he did say earlier, but again, that doesn't take away that he might want a romantic relationship. He just is saying that these women that he lives with, they're not that. And then he also made a point where he's saying, like, if it was a whole bunch of dudes, nobody would say anything. But because there's 4 women, now all of a sudden everybody's, hey, why you get all those women over there? Oh, they probably doing this and that.
Right.
So I think that's kind of crazy, but it makes sense too though. Like how I feel with a dude wake up in the morning and he just in his boxers making me eggs.
Probably wouldn't be marrying me right now.
It's a little weird.
That is super weird.
But nobody's gonna probably question that. But the fact that he has but that's the thing though. Like if it's a whole bunch of dudes, they're just roommates. But if it's a whole bunch of women, now all of a sudden everybody gonna have something to say about it. So I can see that too.
I guess.
And I'm not necessarily taking sides, but he just made a point like, I don't want nobody scratching their nuts and then trying to give me no eggs. Like,
Oh my God.
Male only groupings, but that's not my episode of Entourage.
How do you avoid toxic women? Give me. I mean, because obviously, you know, you like women.
I do. And I probably like toxic ones more than anybody. That's because...
I asked you this.
No, hold on. Because toxic women are exciting. And that's just a fact. Part of toxicity is exciting. I'd rather skydive with her. But if you have toxic women, just understand that all monsters are feeding off of something. And if you find out what this toxic woman is feeding off of, you can just begin to turn off her feeding points. And it drives a toxic person crazy and they'll get away from you.
that was a gem. That was a gem.
I can't say nothing on that one. Like,
that was a gem.
Yeah. He used the perfect analogy of a monster. Like,
that was
a monster is feeding off of something to be the monster that they are.
But he did say that it's also exciting, and I think again, people go to haunted houses because they're excited.
Yeah, that adrenaline that you get from whatever.
But
that is. I think that even
he's not. It sounds like he's kind of got it under control too, though. He doesn't allow it to scare him or to tear him down, because he's saying, "At least I know you're toxic. I'm excited in this environment," which again, I don't believe in living in that type of environment, but if you're going to be in it, if you know how to control it, then yeah. But that's crazy that the toxic person is probably feeding off of something. And when you figure out what they need or what they're feeding off, you turn that off, it's done.
Yeah. And it's so crazy, like, as a woman, I think we are attracted to, like, those toxic men, and we go through those crazy relationships and the ups and downs. And I think those men, either they figure it out or they just deal with it, I guess. Or they know how to, well, not deal with it, like, they know how to control it. And women are we're so emotional. We're emotional creatures that something from them is also feeding us. So, I don't know.
Lost me with the emotions.
But that's the woman. Yeah. Like, a woman is emotional. So it's like you stay toxic because you're so wrapped up in your own emotions that you don't even know how to control it yourself.
So basically you're saying that he's somehow figured out what's feeding the emotion, and then he can turn the emotion off, or the thing that feeds the emotion. So then basically it doesn't say that it doesn't mean the toxicity is done in the woman, but he is not affected by it.
Exactly.
That's some deep stuff though, because I don't got the energy for that.
Yeah, I mean, some guys do. Like, that's when you like when.
But I think that means that you're a level of toxic too.
Well, absolutely. That's why you have those guys out here that, I mean, don't get me wrong. Dating is dating. You can date multiple people, you know, as long as you're being respectful about it. But there are people that, and men and women too, they date multiple people, and there is no level of respect when you're dating multiple people, and then it turns toxic. And then let's just say out of your roster, you have that one that's just super toxic, but you know they're toxic, but you just you never leave them alone because, like, it's exciting.
Yeah, you toxic too, and you keep hanging on to like these.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally still like two monsters feeding each other.
Yeah, it's a pattern.
Yeah,
and until somebody decides that they don't want that anymore, then you can't. That other toxic person is probably just gonna go to the next level of toxic, or they're gonna go to the next relationship and find out. Like, I feel like there's people I've known through my life that are toxic, and then you see them again later on in life, and they haven't gotten past that, and they're still there. and they just transfer that same energy to the next person in the next situation, and you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's right back to the same thing.
Yep.
It's crazy.
All right, Mr. KATT Williams, so far, okay.
So whatever, if she's truly toxic, there are certain things that she's doing that help fuel her toxicity. You're not noticing it, but it's what it is. Why do you think she watches murder mysteries before she goes to sleep? Why is it always a crime drama playing? And
I agree with that too.
turn it off. Turn it to cartoons.
I agree with that too.
Make
I think all of them Bad Girls Club and all of that, is what you put in your body is gonna...
No, you don't get to... What's she listening to? You gonna be listening to Sexy Red? You broke.
Sexy Red, you broke.
Toxic people are trying to get things. They're not being toxic for no reason. They're gaining something out of how they operate. That's why they operate like that, because they get something. As soon as you find that out, you'll be able to cut off what they're getting, and they will leave. Yeah.
Man. That was that.
I saved hundreds with Liberty.
Yeah.
So, I think that was a great way to end that video, or that clip.
Wow.
You got a toxic person cut the thing off that feeds them, because I think they are getting it. And again, whatever you put into your body, whatever you consume, I think that regardless if it's social media, you're reading like little memes on Instagram or whatever the case is, you're going to continue to get more of that fuel. And if you stop feeding yourself that, then it will go away, out of sight, out of mind. And you're always going to find what you're looking for. So, yeah, I mean, that wasn't necessarily what I thought when it came to marriage. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that reaction. And if you haven't seen the full KATT Williams thing, I'm going to tell Jasmine she got to watch it. But if you haven't seen the whole thing, make sure you go check it out.
I definitely need to finish watching this whole thing. I actually enjoy KATT Williams, you know, in his acting, his career. Like, he is very funny to me. Out of all of the comedians out there, I would personally say that KATT Williams is one of my favorite comedians. I feel like he's super just real and raw in what he like tells. And I think this was a prime example of what his jokes and everything that he discusses is. It's the real deal. It's the real life. And you know, if you're open and you share it, that it is what it is. But that was definitely some like hidden gems. So for those that are watching that are trying to be married, trying to be in love, trying to build some type of relationship, if you are clearly in some type of toxic relationship, whether it's you being the toxic person and you haven't turned that mirror around on yourself, or it's the other person that you're dealing with being the toxic person, figure out what it is that's actually feeding them and cut it off, and you'll be set free. You'll be able to move on and get to bigger and better things that actually serve you and a purpose. And I am definitely a walking testimony of that. Okay.
Yeah, I done seen some toxic too. And if you toxic and you watching this right now, and I knew you in the past, you know who I'm talking about.
You know who we talking about. We see you.
Anyway,
we see you.
We good. We love y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed our little chit chat, a little reaction or whatever. We might do more of these if you enjoy it. If you haven't seen the full video, go check that out too. And hit the like button, subscribe. Can't wait to see you in the next video. We love you. Peace.